Hi friends! Today I'm going to be showing you how to make an eyelet um, for a drawstring or decoration. I use them as borders sometimes, decorative borders. There's a few simple tricks to making a really nice, clean eyelet. You'll need sharp, pointy scissors. Little embroidery scissors work really well. And then just thread. I'm using sashiko thread, the thread that I hand dye. And I have a really long needle. You don't need a really long needle. You just want a needle that is comfortable for you to use and fits your thread nicely. And I did put a tiny knot in the end of my thread. I'm going to put my needle grabbers on so it's easier for me to hold the needle, even though I'm going to be cutting the hole first. So here we are. I've already drawn a small hole. Thing to keep in mind is when you start stitching, this is probably going to double in size, so make a smaller hole than what you think you're going to need. Take the pointy end of your scissors, gently push it through, sort of twist it around. You don't have to shove it all the way through because that, of course, is going to cut your fabric and you could end up cutting it more than you want. So slowly clip around. You can also make an X and then sort of open it up that way if you clip a little X into your fabric. I'm just going to clean up some of the threads a little bit. And that looks about, I made about 1/4 of an inch or a 6mm hole because I want this to be about a 1/2 inch in diameter once it's finished. So you can see it's not huge. And you can always cut and make it bigger. So that's the other reason why you want to start off smaller. All right, it doesn't matter where you start in the circle. I'm going to start about here. And this is something I always kind of forget to explain. You want to tip your needle up so that you're not going in at an angle, even though it's going to look like I'm going in at an angle. You want to make sure you tip it up so that you're not inserting at the edge. You're actually inserting away from the edge. And again, this is about 1/4 of an inch, 6mm. You can make the width of the eyelet as wide as you want. This is just usually the length that I make it. Give it a little tug, poke that little end to the back, and then you want to lay your stitches close together, like right next to each other, if you want it to look really tidy. Otherwise, you can sort of vary your stitches in length. Just do whatever makes you happy. And then the other important thing is giving it a good tug. It's a gentle tug, but it's a firm tug. So, and what that does is it's going to open up the area more. If you don't really tug it, you're not going to open up the hole as much. And it's only going to open up a certain amount, but you do want to give it a good tug. And then you're just going to work around. And then once you get about 1/3 of the way around or halfway around, look at your buttonhole or your eyelet. I also make buttonholes this way. And I'm just doing a whip stitch. I don't know if I remembered to say that or not, but yeah, so whip stitch all the way around. You can also use a buttonhole stitch or a blanket stitch. But as I'm going around, I'm kind of keeping an eye on how much this is opening up, and it looks like it's opening up really nicely. If it doesn't look like it's opening up enough and you've gotten about 1/3 or halfway around, you can just clip. Just take your scissors and clip just a little bit more. Do a few stitches, see if it's opening up more, and if it still isn't, clip away a little bit more. Because the thing is, once you clip it open, it's going to get bigger. And so if you're not sort of mindful or careful, you can end up with a much bigger buttonhole. And sometimes that, or eyelet, I'm just going to keep saying buttonhole. And sometimes that doesn't matter, and sometimes it does. It just depends on what you're making, what your end use is going to be. Right. So as you can see, that's opening up, that's opening up really beautifully. And if you get all the way around and you don't like, you don't like the way your stitches look, say there's like too much space and you want it to be really solid, you can go around again. But also if you go around again, you're going to be adding more thread and it might make your hole slightly smaller. Not hugely smaller, but it might make it a little bit smaller. So also keep that in mind. And remember, make sure you're actually scooping your needle up and not putting it in at an angle. Because I know that's can be deceiving. Oh, and that's what the back looks like. So nice, it's nice and tidy, nice and clean. And then just, keep going around. Try to pull the thread the same sort of tension, like tighten it up the same amount all the way around. And that will also help shape the opening more evenly. And once we get back to the beginning, which we're almost there, yeah, that's good enough for me. So now, whoops, I got that tangled. I'm going to go to the back and I'm just going to make another little knot back here. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to do that, and then what I usually do, this has got a lot of layers, so it's really easy to do it. I'm just going to kind of tuck this end in, and then it'll just stay there. Clip this off. Boop. There we go. And have a nice little eyelet. And there's the other one. And see, this one ended up a little bit bigger. I cut this one a little bit bigger. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so this is going to end up being a cute little pouch. So I hope you found that helpful. If you like this video, like and subscribe, that whole thing. I'll put links below if you want to look into getting needle grabbers. These really help with hand fatigue. You'll probably hear me repeat that in many of my videos. It's important to take care of your hands. But okay, have a beautiful day. See you guys later. Bye.